Gains in some big retailers after Walmart and Home Depot.
Hey! Vince is supposed to host an important presentation, but he's not going anywhere in that cast. What should he do?
Rhetorical question.
Vince should try GoToMeeting, the simple way to host meetings online, complete with video conferencing and screen sharing. Send out a meeting link and anyone can join from any computer, tablet, or smartphone. Just takes a click.
Where do I sign up?
Visit GoToMeeting.com to start your free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
Here's all you need to know. There's a new cool way to sell your unwanted stuff online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Buysellmakeoffer.com. You're not going to believe it. Join the legions of web sellers and buyers who are turning to buysellmakeoffer.com today. Never pay fees again. For low monthly membership of $7.95, you can sell up to 50 items, and there's a 60-day free trial membership to get you started. You can even produce your own infomercial to sell your products and upload the video for the world to see. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Good afternoon. It's 3:02. I'm Di Rice with the latest in live local news here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. A woman was hospitalized yesterday after getting stabbed in San Jacinto. The stabbing was reported at 12:02 near the intersection of South Mistletoe Avenue and East 7th Street. When deputies arrived, the victim had been transported to a hospital by a family member. She suffered non-life-threatening wounds. No arrests have been made yet. The incident remains under investigation. And after years of uncertainty going back and forth for the first month of bankruptcy when the city started moving forward with its outsourcing of its refuse services, 72 city employees learned Monday night that their new employer will be Burtec. Employees and city officials both largely applauded the move, which will bring $5 million upfront and then $2.8 million a year in franchise fees for the city for the next 10 years. The company also pledged to employ existing full-time employees, retain salary levels and benefits, and give employees another $6,900 as a bonus. Customers will pay the same rates for now, though that is not guaranteed, according to Andrew Belknap, the consultant of management partners who recommended Burtec. Inland Empire weather. We are sunny and breezy today. A bit warmer, though, today. High of 73 is expected. We surpassed that. 74 is where we're at right now. Overnight lows of 56 expected, and then tomorrow a few degrees warmer at 77. Checking out your traffic, stop and go on the 15 northbound between the 60 and Harupa. South is slow from the 10 to 60, and in Moreno Valley, 215 northbound is a little bit slow between Alessandro and East Ridge Avenue, with the south being slow from La Cadena to the 60-91 split. And that is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM with On the Mark next.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features
Dennis Baxter from Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, George. I'm very proud that Habitat for Humanity San Bernardino area has been serving the residents of the area since 1992. So that's 24 years of building homes and building hope. Each partner family participates in our own curriculum in the greater San Bernardino area that provides guidance and resources to a successful long-term experience as being a homeowner. We have financial literacy classes that they go through so they understand the difference between being a homeowner and being a renter. Our Brush with Kindness program helps out low-income folks with, simple chores around the house. And, of course, our Restore, located in Redlands, is a real part of our fundraising effort. So it's building homes, it's building hope. Folks can give us a call at 909-478-1176 or habitatsb.org.
This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
The views of the following show are not necessarily the views of Broadcast Management or its owner, Fred Lundgren. But then again, the views of Broadcast Management are, different. And now it's time for On the Mark Live with host Mark Westwood. Finally, a show about KCAA, hot topics, a little locomotion, current events, news, laugh, reviews, and a little irreverence. And you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, Mark.
Hi-yo! It must be Tuesday. It's 3 p.m. Mark Westwood on the radio with you, along with Joe Lyons, our general sales manager.
When do I get a big thematic, grandiose?
You have to produce one.
Oh, okay.
And maybe you were talking about James Bond earlier.
Yeah.
You could hold the phone up to the microphone.
Hold the phone up to the
and
microphone.
we're privileged.
The only copy of the James Bond theme in the entire building happens to be my cell phone ringer.
Well, that's creative.
Come on in, Nelson Goins. Sit down. And we have also a privilege and honor today. We have a former general manager of KCAA.
Okay.
Dennis Baxter. Hello, Dennis.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to be participating. It's good to hear the James Bond thing, and it's good to be in a place with a bowl full of rivets. I'm not sure what that was all about, but interesting intro.
Yeah.
And it's good to be on the mark. You've been to the top of the mark in San Francisco.
Yeah.
The mark of excellence on the mark.
But now I'm on the mark.
And we have to give Joe his due with the Lions.
I once ate at the restaurant on the top of the World Trade Center back when it was up that high.
Mm-hmm. And it's
not up there anymore.
And speaking of excellence, we're going to also be talking about with this excellent young man just sat down here, Nelson Goins, who used to be working on and helping me co-host a radio show in yesteryear, I guess. Nelson, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. It's good to be here.
Good to have you. Nelson has been up to some good stuff, and we're going to talk to him in a little bit about the stuff he's been up to over the University of California, Riverside, and since working with the Pete Aguilar campaign. And I'm just going to catch up with Nelson and see what he's up to. And then, of course, we have Di in the booth over here. Hello, Di. How are you doing? Glad to have you here running the music.
Thank you.
And don't play too much of that James Bond stuff.
She doesn't have a copy of the James Bond theme. It's been around for 50 years since Dr. No.
Well, she said which one.
You'd think they'd have a copy of it.
Well.
Which one? There's one.
There's only one? Oh, I think there's more than that.
Well, yeah, that's it. Well, badly done, but that's it. You want to hear some more? I've still got it on the phone.
We're fine. We're fine.
Only one.
Thanks anyway. Thank you anyway, Joe.
Yes.
Joe is our master of cheap jokes and cheesy jokes. And
best kind. Well, now they call them dad jokes. I haven't figured that out yet. It's like the loose-fitting jeans are mom jeans, and bad jokes are now dad jokes. So
yeah.
Something to do with the family, but I haven't figured it out.
Yes. And if chime in if you've got any bad dad jokes. He's not quite a dad yet, but he since leaving here,
hopefully not.
Nelson has a new girlfriend, so we'll be
I will let you know. Pete Aguilar did work on our recent Habitat for Humanity build on North Elm Avenue. Mm-hmm. And he's in my PowerPoint presentation that I show to the entire community because I point out this was not a photo opportunity. He's actually on the roof actually building the house.
That sounds like Pete. He does. He's always a very
roll up his sleeves and go to work. You know what I'm saying?
And probably brought his sons along with him, maybe. And
that day, no, he was with his aide. DeCamp.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Boris?
Taking pictures.
Not Boris, no.
What's is that Omar?
No, Craig. No, Wilson? Last name? No.
Wilson's the first name, and I don't know the last name.
Okay.
Hey,
no, Wilson's the ball in Castaways.
Anyway, so you can see, Joe Lyons, you have a strict competition here for a cheesy joke.
I'm trying to think, are you sure that was Wilson?
Yeah. Because remember, he named it after the ball. It was a Wilson.
Let's wheel it back in here.
I thought it was Spalding.
Okay, wheel it back in here. We have a show that actually has some content today. We're also going to be talking about Habitat for Humanity.
Thank
and
you.
I want to bring things down just a little bit. We had a serious incident over in Paris, and we're all praying and thinking about the people of France and Je suis paysan. I firmly believe that we can't allow this to go on. And I understand that now ISIS or ISIL now has a new name.
Yes.
Given by the president of France today, and then picked up quickly by President Barack Obama.
What's that?
They are now calling them Daesh.
They named him after an old powdered detergent?
Well, no. I guess this is kind of a derogatory term that means trash in the desert or dash.
Maybe it means something in French that when we find out, we're in trouble.
Right. What possesses a person to be so disenfranchised, I guess, maybe, or so upset, or to become, people from France are doing this. People from England. Kcaa John was English.
Yeah. They said 5,000 Americans have gone over and joined ISIS.
I don't know if that's a correct number. I don't agree with that.
I have learned this about Facebook. Don't believe a thing you read on Facebook.
Well, wait a minute.
Pro or con.
We know everything on the internet is true.
Oh, yeah. If you read it, it must be true. These memes are really, this picture and then there's words
crazy.
put,
I hate to say it, but I've heard that before. People say, well, I saw it on the internet. It must be true.
Yeah. Where did true journalism actually go?
I don't know. With Walter Cronkite, I guess, or some of the
Edward R. Murrow, if you're old enough.
But we do have the opening of social media, which is something when you think about this. One of the things that's kind of astounding and startling is that the people who witnessed this, the people that were around, the suicide bombers that were killed, and the young person they're now pursuing is a young person. They're young. They're in their 20s.
Yeah.
They're Nelson's age. Sorry to say that.
Well, you said the key word: social media. It attracts a young Justin Bieber worshiping crowd.
And somebody told me today, and I'm going to have to check into this, that the reason they're using like Facebook and some of the social media is because it's instant, built-in, cheap, free security because they protect the identity of these people.
It was the same thing in the Arab Spring in Egypt. It was the same thing in the Occupy Wall Street. They were all saying, well, it's because they're connecting on social media, which means all of these righteously indignant young people are running around with $600 iPads.
Well, however it happened, it really is sad. And you can pipe in here if you want.
Have an opinion. On the flip side of that, social media does do a lot of good for the youth to come together and mobilize. But there's evils to everything. So.
Yeah.
But moving towards what we are actually here to talk about, and I just wanted to remember these people. And I've not been a big supporter of drones, but. Drones come to my mind now.
Having done 4 years in the Air Force and seen the tragedy of the number of lost flight crews from 30,000 feet over Vietnam and their wives and children who live...
Drones are a pretty good idea.
Drones are a great idea. Hey, drop a $5 million drone instead of an 8-man B-52 any day.
Yeah, I did see a picture on Facebook, and it says that ISIS or ISIL or now whatever it's called... Daesh. It shows B-52 bombers and missiles and drones and everything, and it all lined up, and it says that ISIS won the coin toss, and now they've elected to receive. And I can't support that more. I'm not a warmonger. I'm somebody who's in favor of peace, but this obviously is something we have to fight with. Fire. You fight fire.
This has basically become war.
Yeah.
Well, I remember going up to Bakersfield right after 9/11. And Bakersfield is referred to by many people as the Republican Woodstock. And everybody expected, because they had a number of very high-visibility Democratic speakers that year, everybody thought it was going to be like the great debate. And it wasn't. It was this love fest. Everybody, yes, we've all got to get together. We've all got to send them back to the Stone Age. But first we've got to send them some stones. And and everybody seemed to all agree.
Well, this is not
and then
a partisan
it rises
thing.
And falls.
This subject, Paris, and what happened in Paris is definitely not a partisan thing, and we need to.
It's
all
being
be
used as a partisan thing by some.
It shouldn't be. Shamefully,
no. It is when you're talking about boots on the ground and how many resources we want to place towards it, because you can't just hawk someone when it's not necessarily in the interest of
Right, and then
everyone. We can't just go. We can't be bomb crazy.
No.
And drop bombs wherever we think they may be, because there are innocent civilians, and those innocent civilians that die. That actually just caters more towards the radical Islam's story and narrative that they're trying to play, and that just creates more anti-Western train of thought. So it's important to take this smart and bring radical Islam away from radical Islam. You bring them away and you indoctrinate them into Western society and make them feel more accepted, so that ISIL or ISIS, whatever it's called now, doesn't have a card to play.
Part of the problem that I see is the fact, like you said, radical Islam is too many people are saying all Islam, and that's wrong.
That's wrong.
It's like saying all Catholic priests are child molesters, all televangelists jump on their secretaries. It's a stereotyping. It's taking a minority and expanding it to the entire group, and everybody gets blamed, and that's not fair. Anybody who reads the Quran knows it's as much a book of peace as the Bible or any of the other great theological writings.
One of the people I interviewed on the station was Imam Shamshad from the Chino Mosque, who now is relocated to Ohio. He was sent
Did he? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, as they are, they're sent from place to place. He was here for a number of years, but he gave me a copy of the Quran.
Yeah.
And in reading it, you're absolutely correct. It is a peace-loving, 180 degrees away from warmongering as you can possibly imagine, and as are the people. It's those radical, wing people who come out of the splinters of the bad piece of lumber that wind up getting all the attention and attempting to make sure that their voice is heard by killing a whole lot of people, which is the antithesis of what we as a Judeo-Christian society believe in.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this part of this conversation
we got
up
to, because we've got guests to talk about
special things. But one thing I want to say to everybody, and this is just a warning to everybody, and that's to keep your head up. Keep alert when you're in crowds. Make sure that if you see something that doesn't seem usual or out of the norm, you report it. Don't feel conscientious about that. That's how that kind of lackadaisical attitude created and the disaster that happened in Paris. And, the people who survive tragedies are the people who had a way out. And so when you're in a large room of people, look for the exit. Make sure you're in the mall here, that you can get out that way or this way or that way or wherever. Keep your heads up. Don't be, too fearful, but at the same time, be alert. And that's the last thing I want to talk about this time. Okay, moving on, as they say. What a transition.
Speaking of a Judeo-Christian society and what I do.
Yes. I want to introduce to you Dennis Baxter, who's a former San Bernardino City Council member, worked in the San Bernardino Farmers Market with me, former general manager of Kcaa, and has now moved on to great things like the Restore and an organization called Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, Mark. It's good to be on the mark with all three of you here. It's an honor and a privilege, but not only that, it's a passion of mine. I worked in the mortgage industry in the 90s at some very well-known places, and one of the areas that I found I really, really touched my heart was getting someone into a home for the first time. But the challenges with that have always been and always will be in the traditional lending methods, coming up with a down payment, coming up with closing costs. We have, as you well know, a large segment of the working poor. And the working poor are working. They actually have an income. They're struggling. They're two families.
They don't have a credit score of 720.
Right. Thank you. Exactly. I'll give you an example, and they don't mind me sharing this. The Calderons, who just moved into the home we finished, the one that Pete Aguilar helped build up on North Elm Avenue in San Bernardino. He works for the Rock Church as a maintenance supervisor. She is an assistant preschool teacher at the church. They make a good income, but no way could they ever buy a house. We hold our loans for 20 to 30 years. We do not sell them on the secondary market. They are at 0% interest. Just to give you an idea, $260,000 home, that's the loan amount. 0 interest, 30 years, $720 a month.
That's doable.
Add tax and insurance, you're at about 9. But we deal with people who are either 80% or below the AMI, annual median income for San Bernardino County, which is about 63.5 now. So literally a family of 5 under HUD guidelines, and it's posted right on our website at www.habitatsb.org. You can look at our guidelines, and you can make $53,000 a year, and you're still considered low income with a family of 5.
Yeah, in California especially.
Right, but once again, try to raise a family on $53,000 a year and plan on putting your kids through college and planning on buying a home and being a homeowner. What I'm most proud about Habitat for Humanity, I always ask this question, so I'll just ask you guys, who do you think started Habitat for Humanity?
Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter.
Everybody would say that, but that's probably
that's what
not so.
Everybody says. I was speaking to a Kiwanis group earlier today, and I always ask that question, and it always comes out Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is actually, and since
he's certainly the face of it.
He is the face. He's our number one cheerleader, number one volunteer. He joined the organization 2 years after its founding in 1976 by Millard and Linda Fuller. Millard and Linda Fuller were out of Atlanta, Georgia. They were multimillionaires at the age of 29. But they had marriage problems, severe marriage problems. So they went to the Coña Nina Farm, which was an interracial farm outside of Atlanta, formed in 1942. And they did what we would call today marriage encounter. They came out of that really accepting their Christian beliefs and accepting the Bible and saying, you know what, we are working on our Christian beliefs, we're working on our marriage. What to do with our millions of dollars, which they believed at that time got them into the problems they were in, because money does not buy happiness, as we all know.
As Dave Ramsey says.
Yeah, exactly. So they took those millions and put them into this new organization in 1976 called Habitat for Humanity, with the goal in mind of eliminating poverty housing worldwide.
And since 1976, I read the statistic, tell me if it's true or not, you've helped 6.8 million people?
Absolutely. Do you know we are the 4th largest home builder in the United States collectively? We have 1,500 affiliates here, 3,000 worldwide. We're in 90 countries, including Kyrgyzstan, the former Soviet Union, just a little west of Mongolia. And we are building yurts. We are building homes in Mexico. Our affiliate.
You're building what?
Yurts.
What's a yurt?
Okay, a yurt is a round. Look it up.
Google it. As long as you're using your social media, Google it.
Google it. Yeah, we're building homes that include yurts. Yurts in that area of the world are your shepherds, your farmers, your goat herders who live in these round houses. You call it a roundhouse, but then those of us who come from a railroad background
something along the lines
different.
of an igloo, but not.
It sounded like the line from My Cousin Benny when the judge said to Joe Pesci, "What's a yurt?"
Yeah, what's a ute? Yeah, ute.
Okay.
So
they're building
anyway,
yurts
the bottom line is we're building homes, and a former Superior Court judge went to Mexico about 1990, 91, and he and his wife built homes alongside Rosalind and Jimmy Carter in Mexico, 1,000 of them in 1 week. That's called a blitz build.
Wow.
Different codes. I'll just leave it at that. But the thing is, you can build these homes when you have 1,000 workers, and he worked alongside these people. He came back to his hometown, San Bernardino, and he said to his wife, Sally, he said, we need to start a Habitat for Humanity here in San Bernardino.
You're talking about Pat Morris.
Pat Morris, who later became mayor of the city of San Bernardino. He started this affiliate in 1992.
Saw him yesterday or Sunday, by the way. Looks good. After his cancer surgery.
Yeah. No, he's doing well. Fast forward.
Sally's in the hospital now.
20. Well, yeah. Sorry to hear that. They're great people.
Yeah.
Fast forward 22, 23 years, and we now have families who have paid 240 payments, 20 years of payments. As a matter of fact, I just met with one yesterday who accelerated his payments and paid off his home in 11 years. And we are going to be doing mortgage retirement ceremonies in April at the University of Redlands in Orton Hall during our gala for those folks. And I'm hoping Pat will be able to do what we did at the Orange Show in 2014, where we literally burned the note, which is your traditional.
I've heard of mortgage burning ceremony.
Yeah, your mortgage burning ceremony, which is what we will do once again for these two families. And more of these families are, in fact, paying off their homes now after 20 years. And isn't that truly the American dream?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really exciting. And to me, I'm so excited when I can hand the family Bible and a set of keys over to a family, and I'm equally as excited 20 years later because we hold the loan for 20 years. We know these families. We see them often.
Yeah.
And
so you do kind of like in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, where they gave them a loaf of bread and a bottle of wine to celebrate their home.
Something like that. We don't give them a loaf of bread or a bottle of wine, but we give them a family Bible and a set of keys. And,
that works.
It does. It works very well.
Makes the world a better place.
It does. Thank you for saying that.
You've got a lot of things going on just besides home building, too.
Right. We have our Brush with Kindness, which essentially our Brush with Kindness program is where we go out into the community. We serve 14 cities now, Big Bear. We've absorbed that affiliate. I guess I never thought I'd be a developer, and I never thought I'd be in acquisitions and mergers. But I've had 2 affiliates acquired by our affiliate since I've been involved since 2010. Brush with Kindness helps low-income homeowners impacted by age, disability, family circumstances, and the struggle to maintain the exterior of their home. We just recently went to the Ramrod Mobile Home Park in Rialto. Mm-hmm. Mayor Deborah Robertson connected with us, and we painted 10 mobile homes in that park with a lot of volunteer labor. I met a woman there who was getting her home painted. She brought us breakfast when we arrived at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? Her total annual income, Social Security only, is $8,000 a year.
Oh.
She could not paint her coach. So we painted it. We get a lot of donated paint from Valspar, one of our partners. Whirlpool's another one of our partners that we get the appliances for every home that we work on. We get a lot of in-kind donations from national distributors. Home Depot, Lowe's is a supporter of ours. And if I may be so bold as to also mention that if you have a junk car and you're wanting to get rid of it, be it an RV, a car, I believe we take boats, but no airplanes. Thank you.
An interesting statistic here. In the city of Los Angeles, there are 4 million more cars than there are people. So there's all kinds of cars to be donated.
Yes, there are.
Well, I know a guy that owns 300 cars, so he's part of that factor.
Oh.
Well, the point is you can call this 1-800 number. It's an 877 number. 877-277-4344, or go to carsforhomes.org/ED. And you can donate your car. They will ask you for the zip code, and we automatically get the funds. We had 3 cars donated about 6 months ago, and we suddenly got a check for $5,000. So
wow.
I would like to see us doing 5 to 10 cars a month. So that's why I'm really pushing this.
You also, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a special target effort for veterans.
Yes, we
in
do.
need of homes.
As a matter of fact, we have property. We're one of the lucky affiliates who has a land bank. That is, we've been very blessed to have people donate lots to us in land. We have land in Hesperia, in the San Bernardino Mountains. Neil Baker of Baker's Restaurants, when he passed away, he donated, through his will, he bequeathed a piece of property on north, between Kcaa and F Street in San Bernardino, north of the Asa Learning Center, the former Temple Emmanuel. That is an acre of land. Right now it's zoned for 4 homes, but I do intend to go before the city council and ask for variance because there are apartments on the other side of the street, and I want to build 12 townhomes for veterans in a partnership with Calvet out of South.
Such a valuable, needed service.
Yeah.
So what's the criteria? How does someone be elected, I would imagine?
Okay, there's the 3 pillars of home ownership are, number 1, is there a need? Now, that need is vetted by our Family Selection Committee. They go out and actually do an on-site visit where these people currently live. There's no shortage of need in the greater San Bernardino area.
No.
As you well know. I'm not going to bash landlords or property owners or
absentee landlords from Orange County. Yeah.
But absentee landlords from Orange County, Los Angeles,
or
who
the East Coast,
or don't upgrade or upkeep their property. We have seen families, 5 people living in a 2-bedroom squalor with roaches and rats and infestation that you wouldn't even want to believe. That's why I always say we want to provide affordable, healthy living environment for our families. So they go out and they vet them, and that's part of the selection process.
Need?
The need, okay, the second pillar is the willingness to partner with Habitat and do 500 hours of sweat equity. That is their down payment. They literally help build the home they're going to occupy.
So they're building forward, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're building it forward. Pay it forward.
And some
build
of
it
them
forward.
do work on homes before, they may work on somebody's home that's being built for them, and or they may work on our restore.
Has a big psychological edge on ownership.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like home ownership is the American dream, and what
but
it
if you're
does.
the guy that pounded the nails into the wall.
Yep. I told Gus Calderon, our new homeowner, I said, Gus, this Christmas, Thanksgiving, when you have family over, you can tell them, I know what's behind that wall because I built it.
Not necessarily to get a home or anything like that, but if you just wanted to help out, you wanted to be like Jimmy Carter at 90 years old, sawing the wood, or like Pete
91,
Aguilar.
suffering from cancer, and still out there building.
91.
Just about every single day. Let me touch on the third pillar. The third pillar, though, is the ability to make a very modest mortgage payment. So they do have to have some income. I get calls every single day of the week. We are not a homeless shelter. We don't do rentals. We do home ownership. We will help them with their financial literacy classes and restoring their credit and home ownership classes, because when you're a renter, you may call the landlord when the toilet breaks or the roof leaks or the hot water heater ceases to function. What we do is teach them how to do it themselves. By building that home, they're able to do that.
Kind of teach them how to fish. Maybe.
Yes, thank you. Perfect biblical example.
Well,
exactly.
That is a Christian organization.
And it is. Now, getting back to what you were saying, if you would like to volunteer, because we have a volunteer coordinator, Loretta Erickson, in our office, and the number to dial if you're interested in volunteering, we have a chapter at the University of Redlands, which Pete Aguilar actually was the president of that chapter when he was a student there. That's how he got involved originally. You can call us at 909-478-1176. Ask to speak to Loretta or myself, Dennis Baxter, and we'll set you up. We have volunteer opportunities in the Restore itself.
Speaking of this, if I said 25948 Business Center Drive in Redlands.
There you go.
Open Tuesday through Sunday?
Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through
5
Saturday.
days a week.
5 days a week.
We are located just off Mountain View exit of the 10 freeway. You go east on Business Center Drive. You'll see the huge County Child Support Office building on the corner, just north of Farmer Boys. If you ever eat there. 25948 Business Center Drive, past the small grove of oranges.
It is a great store. Now you've
And
gone to Home
You've
Depot.
been there, I know.
Been there. I've donated to it too. We took a ton of equipment and computer stuff down there one time with me and my friend Jerry Brown. Not the governor, but my friend Jerry Brown from Highland. And it is a great store. If you're going to Home Depot, if you're going to go out and buy something that's a home improvement item, you might want to think about going to the Restore first, because this is all goods and stuff that's been donated to them that they are selling at a very modest price usually.
Right.
And some good quality stuff. Lighting fixtures, carpeting, tile, old TVs.
If you're a landlord and you want to upgrade and take care of that rental, come on down, because we have locks donated to us by Lowe's, Home Depot. They donate to us.
Yeah, and you have like paint and stuff sometimes.
Yep, we sure do.
There's all kinds of great stuff. And you might walk in there and think of something you didn't think you needed, and it's there. And I know somebody was talking about it. He replaced every single door handle in his whole place.
yes.
And everybody was just remarking how impressive this was. And he paid 50 cents a knob.
Yep.
And it looked really good, real brushed aluminum and everything else. And they really thought he had spent a lot of money, but he hadn't. Light fixtures. There's just all kinds of great stuff. It is a great place to explore.
And we take donations, and we will pick up your donation.
Yep.
You can call the number, where's the number? 799. I know the number, 799-6738. We do about 5 to 6 pickups a day, 5 days a week, so 25 to 30 pickups around our area, which is from Fontana on the west, Yucaipa to the east, Riverside County line, Grand Terrace to the south, the Upper Desert, Hesperia, Victorville, Apple Valley, the mountain communities of Lake Arrowhead, Crestline, Running Springs, and now our newly acquired affiliate area, which is now our affiliate, Big Bear Valley.
Yes. The Restore Habitat for Humanity, A Brush with Kindness. You can do financial literacy, which is something that Dave Ramsey would love. Our financial literacy guy that is here at noon here on KCAA. Dennis, I want to have you back. There's so much more we can talk to, and it just seems like it's flown by. But we got to take a couple-minute break and then bring our next guest in.
Let me just say thank you, Mark. Thank you, Joe.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you,
Nelson.
Nelson, I appreciate the honor.
You're more than welcome to stick around and stay here.
You know what?
And add your pipes here.
What are we up till 4?
Yeah, up till 4.
I'll stick around.
Okay. All right. We'll be back with On the Mark right after this on KCAA 1050
You've been
AM.
listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
Hey Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where KCAA is located?
Of course, but there's more than just KCAA here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashions where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to KCAA.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel Mall. We're open.
For more info, go to kcaaradio.com.
The Diocese of San Bernardino wants to invite you to the 14th Annual Bishop's Golf Classic, Thursday, December 3rd at PGA West in beautiful La Quinta, California. All proceeds from the tournament, dinner, and auction will benefit Catholic school education in the San Bernardino Diocese. For more information, call your local Catholic school or the San Bernardino Diocesan Office at 909-475-5437.
Here's a look at the KCAA community calendar. I'm Di Rice. 'Tis the season of giving, and Music Changing Lives is gearing up for its annual toy drive. Random Act of Kindness. MCL is in need of Santa's helpers to distribute toys and gifts to children in severely impoverished communities throughout San Bernardino and Riverside County on Christmas Eve. Last year, the organization distributed gifts to nearly 2,500 children in some of the poorest and roughest communities in the Inland Empire. This year, they would like to bring joy and happiness to 3,000 children in need. With your support, they can reach their goal. Please help to brighten the holidays for some of the most vulnerable children in our region. If you, your business, or organization is interested in collecting toys or volunteering, please contact MCL at 951-992-0721, 951-992-0721, or visit musicchanginglives.org. And that's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
KCAA 1050 AM and now 106.5 FM. I'm Mark Westwood for On the Mark. Here,
Big
having a good
taxi.
time. Yes.
Give me spots on my apples and a bottle of DDT.
That's not it, but okay.
We ran the message there a minute ago about the Bishop's Golf Tournament. I have to tell you a real quick story because I play it every year. And Bishop Barnes goes out. He doesn't give you the sleeve of balls when you sign up. Everybody, normally you get the goodie bag full of stuff. He actually gets in a golf cart and drives around the course and hands everybody a sleeve of golf balls.
Does he have his little bishop cassock and bishop hat on?
No, he just
well, that's no fun. Then. I want to see him in the bishop hat.
But I asked him the first year he did it, I said, will this make me a better golfer? Will it improve my game? And he says, I'm only blessing the balls. I'm not blessing you.
Okay. Wow, the bishop said that.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Got me.
I still want to see him. I challenge you, Bishop Barnes.
I hear 25 one-liners, but I'm not going to say them.
Jerry, I want you in the bishop hat in the golf cart. That's all I got to say.
It won't fit.
We'll take
what
the
do you
top
think,
off.
it's the Pope Mobile?
Yes, a little Pope Mobile. If it's good enough for Francis, it's good enough for Jerry.
Now, there's a guy who has been not only embracing the people, but the people embrace him, right? Because he is of the common person. He doesn't even have an apartment in the papal palace. He lives off campus somewhere. They see him come and leave in the morning, and this is what we need more of: is people who are accessible.
And a bishop in a golf cart with a hat on.
I like that. I like that.
He's the Governor Moonbeam of the Catholic Church.
I like that.
No, that's
I like that.
You know, every time that you use Moonbeam to insult Jerry Brown, you're actually complimenting him because, you know,
That guy
Silicon Valley happened because he was Governor Moonbeam.
That's true.
So anyway, let's move on because I got a nice young man here, and we could commentate and color all we want. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to reintroduce to you Nelson Goins. Who was a graduate football star at Redlands High School back in the day.
Redlands East Valley.
Redlands East Valley. Then went to San Bernardino Valley College, worked his way through college, graduated from San Bernardino Valley College, and now has matriculated to the University of California, Riverside.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Stayed local. Thank you, Mark.
Congratulations. Stayed local. He is an example of somebody that I hold up to other people and say, this is what good youth are doing today. He has been involved in political campaigns. He's gotten active. He's voted. He's not one of those people that says, I'm just going to stay home and vote because it doesn't matter. And you tell people why you vote.
I vote because I don't want people making decisions that affect my life that I don't hold the same values with. Right. So even if, you know, the candidate doesn't end up winning or the measure doesn't end up passing it, I at least know that I played a role in it.
No tacit consent here.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great reason to vote. And it's to make sure that they count the votes. It's to make sure that you're heard, and you're not giving some voice to some crotchety old senior citizen with gray hair. I'm not looking exactly at you, Joe.
But I'll bet you this guy votes.
He does, actually.
Well, for the same reason.
Yeah.
Actually, Joe and I have talked since he's come to work here. And, you know, I guess I'm a moderate, and he's a moderate, and he's not an extreme on the Republican side, and I'm kind of not.
But I go into that.
People laugh at that.
Mark, I've known you too many years. What do you mean?
I punch those little holes with that pin, and I go, there, gotcha, there, gotcha, there, gotcha.
Anyway, we're going to talk about some things you've been doing over at University of California, Riverside. You formed a new club over there, or helped form a new club, or find one?
Well, there was a lot of people that wanted the club in place, but when you're a college student, you don't necessarily have time to, you know, go through student life and make this club happen. So we got a group together, and I was picked as president because I was a transfer student and I really didn't have any club affiliations or.
In other words, you had the time.
I had the time, yeah. And so, you know, we've worked our way through student life, and we started the College Democrats at UCR. And it's interesting.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's interesting. Riverside is actually one of the most diverse campuses in the country, but we're not very politically active. We're not as politically active as I think we should be. I mean, I think that just speaks to the Inland Empire as a whole. Voter turnout is very bad in this area when it comes to youth.
Well, when it comes to any age.
Well, yeah, when it comes to any age, all you have to do is look at the last council elections to see
10%.
Yeah, if that.
And that's people who actually registered to vote.
Right.
So that means the intent was there.
It was 11.5%.
Well.
6,620.
But what you're doing over there to get people to vote is what?
So we're gonna, you know, we're kind of in the building stages right now, preparing for 2016, which we anticipate to be a very big year for politics. And you know, we're gonna hold registering to vote, like just walking around campus, getting people registered to vote.
Good.
We are gonna hold like forums where the candidates, local candidates, federal candidates, state candidates can come and speak and talk about their issues, and hopefully we can get students to turn out to those so they can be more informed. You know, it's great to have people vote down ballot when you're working on a campaign or something like that. That's
You promote the value of a young person voting.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And this is, you know, what led to what happened in France, that people were disenfranchised. Maybe that's why they become terrorists. I don't know. But, you know, the best way to get young people involved is to franchise them. In other words, make them feel like they have a need. They're buying into something.
And it's hard, you know. I didn't anticipate how hard it would be to start this club. I don't have that much free time anymore. I'm going from semesters to quarters, and that's a whole transition in itself.
And he's playing on the rugby team.
I'm playing on the rugby team.
So what are the challenges? What do kids, excuse me for using that term, what do students say to you?
Well, there's no like incentive for them to come to our meetings. You know, they don't. A lot of kids want to post on Facebook and they, you know, want to feel the burn with Bernie Sanders, but they don't want to actually come to meetings and turn out to vote and things like that. And that's what you know, we have a really good e-board together that's, you know, kept me held up to keep this club moving. But there's been a lot of times where I've wanted to quit because I get frustrated with students that they aren't as active when this is the generation we're inheriting. You know, we are the future leaders, and we are going to inherit a mess if we don't turn out to vote, whatever political ideology.
And voting is where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly.
That's where they actually have a voice and do something.
And students should be the ones that are, getting older people to vote. It should be the complete opposite, but that's not the case.
You know, I was doing voter registration for the League of Women Voters recently, and I was at a site, and someone shouted, "Don't register to vote, you'll be called to court." Well,
that's always
that's just not true.
No, it's not true. It's not true at all because, first of all, they're referring to jury duty, which I think is an honor. It's an honorable thing to do. It's not a horrible thing to do. It's
most people
right.
treat it like going to the dentist.
My father fought in 3 wars, got a Purple Heart, and a lot of people have lost their lives. The least you can do is get up off your frickin' butt, and vote.
Right, exactly, and. So, but also just to clarify it, they pull jury duty people from other records, driver's licenses. Yeah. It's not just voter registration. Yeah. So that's inaccuracy at its best. So
the last time I got called for jury duty here in San Bernardino, I sat down. That big room where you wait.
Yeah.
And I looked to the left of me, and I'm sitting next to former Congressman Jerry Lewis.
Right.
And I said, "What, even you can't get out?" He says, "Not only I can't get out, my wife was here last week."
Right.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of this auto registration, Jerry Brown?
Yeah, Jerry Brown just signed an initiative that went to the Assembly and the Senate that now if you get a driver's license, you will be registered to vote.
And that's the way you're registered for jury duty, by the way.
The problem is that doesn't affect anyone that has a driver's license currently.
Right.
So you still won't be able to register to vote at that time.
This is what they call the Motor Voter?
Yeah, the Motor Voter Act. And that won't, I don't think that'll change turnout, but at least people will be registered and they have easier access.
It increases the pool.
Yeah, I remember last election cycle, I actually drove someone to the polls.
Good for you.
And they were very excited and happy about it. And we should have more of those things, but people do need to get off their butt. And, it shouldn't take someone knocking on your door on election day to tell you that it's time to vote.
And anybody can register to vote by mail.
Exactly. You can register to vote by mail. You can vote by mail. You can register to vote by mail, and then you can vote by mail.
Yeah, they used to call it absentee, and now it's just voting by mail.
No, it is called absentee ballot.
Well, technically, but I understand at least 50% of any given election in the state is done by mail.
Yeah, here's something we found out. We interviewed Michael Scarpelli a couple of weeks ago, back on election day, with that low voter turnout we got. But one of the things is you can mail your ballot on election day now, and it's still counted.
They go by the postmark, right?
Right, right. They never used to allow that. You can drive right up. It's just so easy to vote, and it should be a national holiday, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. And we're in the planning stages right now, but we intend. I want the University of California, Riverside to be a model for all universities to get their students to turn out and vote. Because, it's one thing when you're at a community college and kids are working and stuff like that, but oftentimes at universities, these kids are staying in dorms or staying close to campus, and they're just focusing on school. So they should be able to get out and vote too, and affect the society that they'll be inheriting. That should be a big model at every university, that they try to promote voter turnout.
There's an attitude among people, and it's been predominant among youth. When I went to college, they called our school Apathy Youth. It was that bad. But even today, too many people think, what does it matter? I can vote all I want, and then the wrong guy wins. And so they don't bother. Yeah. And there are those who will say mathematically you're adding to his victory by not voting for the other guy.
We just did something called the Million Student March, which advocated for free public college tuition, $15 an hour. It doesn't matter what your views on that are. I hold issue with it, and I actually, I participated in the march, and I know a lot of people that organize it, and they're very good people. My problem with it is, let's say 1 million people did march. By current voter statistics, 100,000 of them will vote. That's the problem that I hold is you're getting out there and you're marching and you're doing all this Facebook advocacy or Twitter advocacy, but you're not actually going and turning out on election day. And I don't want to say that you don't have a right to complain, because the world is a messed up place, and people are
Well, I'd like to take people on a field trip, put them on a bus, and drive them over to Van Buren in Riverside, and drive them in that cemetery and go, okay, now look, as far as you can see, there's gravestones. Now, not everybody
the Veteran Cemetery.
The Veteran Cemetery. Yeah. And not everybody died here, but a good many of them died on the battlefield for you.
Yeah.
And they sacrificed for you. And then some of them led lives that were very much, how can I say it, handicapped sort of thing. They led shorter lives because they served in the war. People who didn't serve in the war, brothers and sisters of people, lived to be 80, 90 years old. In my family, But, my dad served in 3 wars, and he didn't live past 75. Mm-hmm. Why? Probably because he encountered something on the battlefield, in the war, or whatever, that shortened his lifespan. And there's a lot of people that didn't die right during the war, but had shortened lives because of it. There's a lot of people now that have post-traumatic stress syndrome, disorder. These people sacrifice for you. How lame are you if you can't get up and vote? Especially as easy as it is, you can register now just up to 15 days. Used to be 30 days. Now they've reduced that. You used to never be able to mail in your ballot 3 days before the election. You had to go vote. Now you can just mail it in.
I think part of the problem is knowing what's going on. People get hung up on the media. Right now, what do you hear? You hear Donald Trump, you hear Hillary Clinton, and that's the whole thing. You walk into the election booth, and there's a list of names of people you've never heard of before, because the media doesn't cover. The media, don't cover them. We cover. Donald Trump is a genius. Why? Because he's pulling a Howard Stern on everybody. I'll be outrageous and get all the media coverage. You walk into that booth, there's 6 other people there running for president. By the time you get down to who's running for city council or school board or a bond issue that you've got no knowledge of, and you say, why am I even bothering? I mean, I might as well throw darts at a wall.
Donald Trump might as well put clown makeup on because he's an election clown. That's all he is. He's the court jester nobody takes seriously. But he
gets the coverage.
People thought that he wasn't going to be, a viable candidate, and he's still, close to or leading the polls.
No, Ben Carson is now.
Which is another amazing story into itself. But I would say it's like P.T. Barnum once said, there's one born every minute.
Yes.
And the fact is that people buy into chicanery. They buy into the bully that screams the loudest.
It's the number one theory. How many people are going to go see Spectre this week because Spectre is the number one movie? Do you care that it's a James Bond movie? No, it's a fact that, they said it was number one. I'll buy the number one record, the number one book.
And who said it was number one? Just anybody.
They saw it on they.
Well,
in that
I've
case,
always wondered, Mark, about the theys out there.
It was the people who bought the commercial time on TV.
Yes, thank you. So we are in a marketing business, not politics anymore, or politics has become marketing.
The selling.
You got to jump in here, Nelson, because you got 2 radio pros that've been in the business for 30 years.
Selling of the president,
and then me, and so just jump in.
Well, it is. It just
get in here.
It saddens me because we don't. Part of it is the media, what information is given to you. But also part of it is that people don't seek this information. It seems there's a disconnect between what happens with people that are politically active and people that don't care about politics. I mean, you should care about politics because it affects your day-to-day life. And that's what I try to tell people when I walk up to them and ask them if they want to register to vote, or I'm knocking on doors for candidates or bond measures or what have you.
It gets you get kind of downtrodden because you're trying to organize and things don't happen. I'll give you an example. It's not even political, kind of not political, but the gentleman Robert Porter, you might know that name, and William Chokey, and a bunch of people that do medical marijuana advocates, and they have a club called the Brownie Mary Democratic
Wasn't there a Lonnie Swerdlow a few years ago?
Yeah, Swerdlow. They had a big rally here 2 Fridays ago, a big rally that they really promoted, and they were going to march from here to City Hall, and at 4:20, in celebration of the 10th anniversary of medical marijuana, blaze up. You'd think for something like that, there'd be a lot of people that turned out. They had free doobies. They organized right outside the door.
How many people showed up, Mark? How many?
4.
Yeah.
Wow. And they divided all the doobies
and that's
by
with
4?
free marijuana. I mean, they were just they're like, Mark, march with us. I'm like, well, I got to go to the bank, but thanks anyway. But maybe it wasn't good publicity. Maybe Nelson, you might have gone with him.
No, I know.
But I think that it's that way with a lot of things. People aren't getting active and they're not getting involved. And one of the reasons they're not getting active and not getting involved, what do you think that is?
There's just a lot of distractions. I mean,
Twitter, Facebook.
You'd see iPhone
Instagram.
Releases. Apple stores are packed. People want an iPhone. But November 4th comes around.
People
nobody
think
wants to
point
vote.
and click.
Yeah.
Or tweeting is political activism. It's the most passive lay down on the ground with your butt up in the air kind of thing you can do.
And that does give a voice to people that maybe are scared to speak out in public, and promotes activism for various causes. But the fact of the matter is we do live in a democracy, and you do have to go out and vote if you want your voice to actually be heard on a pragmatic and practical scale.
Life's a participation sport. On Twitter, on Tweet, Instagram, Facebook. Sorry to say it. I mean, in Facebook, you don't even get into all the feeds anymore. It used to be you should be on the feed. It's screaming in the forest, folks. You're screaming in the forest.
Facebook has tried to help. Last election cycle, there was like a I voted button on Facebook, and it's still across the country in a midterm election.
But even Facebook is dangerous. I can show you as many "Here's why Obama is a dog" as there are "Here's why Obama is a hero."
Well, Nelson, let me ask you this question. When I was in school, we had classes like Problems in Democracy.
POD.
I mean, there are the schools doing a good enough job early on at the age of 12, 13, 14, 15? Do you think they're lacking somewhere in getting that engagement going?
Absolutely. When I was growing up, I had no idea what a state assembly member was or a congressional person. It wasn't like we didn't focus enough like on our own government, you know, and what your vote actually means. It wasn't until my first election, Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama, that I saw like all these candidates and saw who I would be voting for. And it probably wasn't until I started working on Pete Aguilar's campaign that I really understood the difference between a state assembly member and a congressional person, a state senate and a regular senate.
You mentioned something that struck me because, you know, they talk about history repeating itself. I watched a TV special on Mitt Romney and the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. And as I sat there watching it, I said, I saw this show 50 years ago, only it was Jack Kennedy in the Catholic Church. But the show was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
No, some things never changed.
Yeah, you know, my first election was 1981. Dennis, your first election, if you don't mind me sharing?
Probably 1881.
2012
no,
right
I mean,
here.
Seriously.
2012.
And Lincoln was a Republican.
Yeah. But do you know, I don't know if you've seen the recent post, though, that Ronald Reagan would agree with Bernie Sanders if he were alive today?
I don't know if he'd agree with everything
Not
he said,
every, but Social Security.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did Reagan say Social Security has nothing to do with the general fund? Has nothing to do with the budget.
What about John Kennedy saying, don't ask what your country can do for you? How Republican is that?
Well, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
That
Bobby Kennedy, some people see things as they are and ask why. I see things as they could be and ask why not.
Yeah.
That's pretty democratic.
And Teddy Kennedy, who said, did you date my brother?
You noted Ben Carson.
And then there's Betty Ford, who dated Joe here, so I don't know.
Ching, chong, ching.
Hey.
Okay, and Nelson, you have a comment.
You noted Ben Carson. If there was ever a Democrat candidate that was this ignorant to international issues or the economy, I would call them out as well. But I can't believe that someone like that is leading the polls when they can't answer basic questions about the debt ceiling or about Syria. You know, I'm taking a conflict resolution class right now, and I don't think Ben Carson could get a C in it.
He's making Sarah Palin look like a genius.
Yeah, which is funny because he's one of the most brilliant neurosurgeons that we have in this country.
Yep.
And it just that goes to show you in itself that you can be the smartest person in the world, but you have no idea what's going on in politics.
You can be the smartest person in medical school, but that doesn't mean you should be leading the country.
Well, yeah, that and...
I mean, because you can cut open somebody's brain, I don't necessarily want that person to determine our foreign policy.
And we have students at the University of California, Riverside that are, bioscience majors that have no idea what's going on in politics, and they don't understand that political leaders allocate resources to their specific field.
Exactly.
And when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh,
okay, we're running out of time here."
How do people get a hold of the organization?
Exactly what I was going to.
So if you want to get involved, I don't know how many people from Riverside are listening to this, but you can go to Highlander Link and find our organization, College Democrats at UCR.
Do you have to be a college student to be a member of the College Democrats?
Half of our organization has to be. So like Jacob Deravula, he... quote unquote, he's a member of everything.
So you can be a member, but half it has to be.
But we're gonna try and do like outreach in the community and stuff like that. So if you want to get a hold of me, my email is ngoin NGOINN 001 at ucr.edu. So if you want our organization to come help out for voter registration, for cleaning up your community, I'd be more than happy to get in touch with you.
Habitat for Humanity.
And we'd love to have your group come and work on our next bill.
Okay, Habitat. SB.org. Habitat,
it's www.habitat www.habitatsb.org. Thank you very much.
It's not it's not necessary to dub anymore.
I like the dub.
Yeah. Okay, 3 Men in a Tub. Habitatforhumanity.org and HighlanderLink.com or just Highlander.
You can just put College Democrats at UCR in your Google search or do the hard work for you.
And congratulations to the Highlander newspaper, by the way, that got student college newspaper of the year.
Yeah, that's great.
At the last Ad Awards banquet, which KCAA was nominated as Station of the Year.
Aren't those called the Addies?
Addy. Well, not anymore. They're
not.
It's going to be
a different event.
It's
coming up.
If I could just say one thing about UCR, I was very nervous to go there because I didn't want to stay in the Inland Empire. I will say that UCR is on the come up, and pretty soon it's going to be a very good university.
Nelson, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Sounds good, everybody.
Bye.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM on the mark and on the way out. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Joe Lyons. Yep. Thank you, Dennis Baxter. And thank you, Nelson Goins.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, we're always flying.
This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. AAA is now forecasting nearly 47 million Americans will hit the road over the long Thanksgiving weekend. That's the most since 2007, clogging highways thanks to a stronger U.S. economy and lower gas prices. On Wall Street, stocks ended little change today. The Dow 6 points higher. The Nasdaq added just 1. Early gains were wiped out following another terror scare, this one in Germany, that turned out to be false. Oil fell $1 a barrel, taking energy stocks lower. That offset big gains in Walmart and Home Depot, the biggest of the big box change, after both reported better sales and more upbeat outlooks for the holiday shopping season.